I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Now let me tell you, I'm aware I may not be the youngest candidate in this race, but I have one big advantage. I've been coloring my hair for years. You're not going to see me turn white in the White House.
I've been coloring my hair for years. Yes, indeed. The accent comes and the accent goes. Joining us now, Jennifer Rubin, Washington Post columnist, author of the Right Turn blog at the Washington Post. And Jennifer, welcome back. 20 things for Hillary Clinton to worry about. That's one of your many pieces today. And is her accent and her hair two of them?
Well, certainly her authenticity is a problem. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't sure whether you were playing on that clip the actual Hillary Clinton or the parody of Hillary Clinton.
Wow, wow.
Are getting dangerously close.
Yeah.
So it's so bad. It really does sound like a bad Saturday Night Live skit.
It really does, and she really does, and it's just amazing that she's even out there still, but she will be out there. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about Bernie Sanders. We'll get to the rest of the list, but Bernie Sanders writing what's the significance, do you think, of what he wrote? Rick Santorum was on with us at the beginning of the show, and I said if a Republican presidential candidate on Friday had it revealed that in the 70s he wrote women dream of being gang raped by 3 men every time they're having sex with their husbands, where would that candidate be now? And he said out. So what is there? I mean, is it done? Is it the end? Or is Hillary going to be asked about it? Or is the media just, it's going away?
I think it's going away, and because no one actually expects him to be president, he is going to get a free pass on a lot of these things, for better or for worse. It does make the double standard, as you point out, all the more clear. But I think what is more interesting is where this leak came from. Was this Hillary Clinton's team already getting nervous and leaking this to the press because they're petrified of Bernie Sanders passing her in Iowa? I think that's the most interesting angle of this. That's
a very good point, because I don't know who wrote it from Mother Jones. I'd like to hear how the person found it if they got it. Well, they don't have to tell us anyway. So what's at the top of the list? I mean, you have number one, Bernie Sanders being taken seriously, and number two is another Bernie Sanders. I mean, can he? Now we got O'Malley in the mix as well. If you add them all together, how much of a threat on a scale of 1 to 10 are they both to her?
Right now they're about a 3, but I think the more interesting case becomes as we get closer to Iowa, and then we have the debates where suddenly they look on stage as if they are equals, whether those numbers begin to change. And if she say, drops below 50%, that would be stunning, and she's almost there. She's at 57% in Iowa. So I think the thinking goes that if one of these candidates can really put her below 50%, what chance are the Democrats going to have against a minimally competent Republican candidate? Now, that's making an assumption that we'll have a reasonably competent Republican candidate. But I think at some point, it's not that Bernie Sanders is necessarily going to pass her, but that he will be doing so well for someone who is supposed to be such a fringe character that other people will look at the race and say, I don't think she's going to make it for the Democrats, or, hey, why not me? I can get into the race.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All right, you have another piece up there today at your Right Turn blog at WashingtonPost.com, and that is Jeb Bush and Scott Walker. You say getting better with time. How so?
I think if you look at both of their interviews, they each did one over the weekend, touching on a variety of issues. Both of them are getting to be a lot clearer, more succinct, more comfortable. I think this is particularly true of Scott Walker, who at the beginning was really an unknown quantity, was a little nervous. He had some bobbles on foreign policy, but now smiles, is at ease, is in command of his facts. It is a reminder that although we like to be definitive, so-and-so will never make it, or so-and-so is a front runner, that in fact candidates change over time, for better or for worse, and that the candidates you see today will not necessarily be, first of all there come the Iowa caucuses, but secondly, some of them will be much better than they are now. So it's important to kind of trace their progress, or trace how badly they do as time goes on, how badly they wear. We've already seen, for example, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who was thought to be a frontrunner about a year ago, and now is mired in single digits and really struggling to stay viable in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your assessment of Lindsey Graham? I mean, he touted his foreign policy experience, said he has more foreign policy experience than anybody else in the race, which is probably true. I just don't see him as a factor.
He probably is not. I think there are a number of candidates in the race who are going to be fun to have in the race. He's a very funny, very witty guy. He's also going to blast people who are not being particularly serious, or who are spouting made-up facts on foreign policy. He's good sort of gut check to have there. I think he raises the level of seriousness of the debate. Do I think he's going to be the nominee? I don't. Do I think he could wind up as Secretary of Defense in some administration? Absolutely. And I think the more quality candidates you have on the Republican side, the more bereft of leadership the Democrats will look. Really, the Republicans can come up with all of these plausible candidates, some of whom could win in a year in which you didn't have so many candidates, and all the Democrats can come up with is Hillary Clinton. It doesn't really look that good for the Democrats, I think.
No, that's true. All right, finally, the concessions to Iran keep on coming, you write. Of course, as John Kerry breaks his leg and has to, go back home. Where are we with that whole fiasco?
Well, for those of you who've been banking that the Iranians will save us by being intransigent at the very end, and we won't be able to breach these very significant gaps on key issues. I have news for you. The administration is going to cave on just about everything. The latest is word that in terms of the snapback provisions, in other words, the sanctions that would be lifted would snap back in place if we found out that they were cheating the
Right, they would be reinstated, yeah.
The procedure that they apparently have agreed upon, at least according to a Reuters report, is so cumbersome. Iran, for one, gets to sit on the Dispute Resolution Committee. Gosh, I wonder which way they'll vote. And then it comes to the Security Council, where you have characters like Vladimir Putin getting a say. The whole thing is a complete fraud. And obviously, they just want something in there that they can check the box and say, well, see, snapback provisions are in the deal.
Yep.
And it's becoming just a ludicrous exercise. We hope that there'll be some issue on which the president won't cave, although there doesn't appear to be one.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. Jennifer, great to talk to you as always. Thank you very, very much.
My pleasure.
All right, folks. Up next, New York Times #1 best-selling author Michelle Malkin will be here. Haven't talked to her in quite a while. Looking forward to it. Don't go away.